Hey, Facebook. So I'm super sorry. I am about 13 minutes late. Let me just raise this. There we go. Oh, no, that's fine. I'm really sorry that I'm a little bit late. I've been having some technical difficulties getting this live going. So I'm super excited tonight to be coming live to you from my couch, as I have been for the last 7 weeks. And this is episode 7. So let me just invite my... All right, we're on. Wonderful. Oh, I couldn't see the comments. It was a little bit delayed. So thank you everyone for jumping on. It is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. It's my first Mother's Day today. I've got my little peanut lying here next to me. Hopefully she doesn't start squawking soon. But I'm super excited tonight, as I am every night, to have a good friend of mine on. As you know, I've been doing these live couch episodes every Sunday night, and the feedback has been phenomenal. And I think the reason is because, you know, I really did them to inspire so many people who are on my Facebook page. My Facebook page is public, lots of you can see, and so many of my friends have done really inspiring things, you know, whether it's incredible health transformations, lifestyle, mindset, all that kind of thing. So I've been carefully selecting some very good friends of mine every week, and tonight, you know, I'm super excited to bring a good friend on who I've known for quite a few years now. I'm going to say maybe 3 or 4 years, and I was super honored to be able to travel with her to Arizona late last year. She's a beautiful mum of 2 and has had not only incredible success in network marketing in our company, but you know, mindset-wise, health-wise, you know, she's just had incredible results and success. So I'm going to bring her on. All right, let's make sure this works. It actually works perfect the last 10 minutes. And then my husband comes home and sorted it out. So anyway, here we go. All I had to do was turn my lock screen off. You don't have to be smart to do this. Thank you. And I'm really excited for you to be joining me tonight, Lisa, on our couches from across the other side of Melbourne.
Yeah. I know. Welcome, and happy Mother's Day, Mama. Happy first Mother's Day. How special for you?
Thank you. Yeah, it is. And she's a little peanut. She's sleeping soundly for now, but tonight, Lise, because you're a huge inspiration for me. I love everything about your story, from, you know, the reason you started. You're very entrepreneurial. You're very much about health, and you come from a health background. I know if I've got a product question, I'm going to ask you, and you're probably going to have the answer for it. And not only that, you know, the business successes that have come from your personal journey as well. So I know I haven't told you the questions in advance, but I'm just going to start from the very start. Just tell me a little bit about what life was like for you before Isagenix.
So life was miserable. I use a lot of words, I guess, to describe it, but in all honesty, life was miserable. And it was Groundhog Day every single day. You know, to paint a picture, of course, I was a qualified PT running my own gym, and Groundhog Day consisted of getting up at about 5 o'clock in the morning, dragging my butt out of bed, getting to the gym, opening up, doing those procedures, yelling at some ladies, because that was my style of instructing, because I was zombieing, and then doing that for a few hours, coming home, trying to eat something but being so tired, just zonking out, and then maybe spending an hour, if I was lucky, with my kids after school, and then going back to the gym and doing it all over again for the afternoon and the night. Maybe getting home if I was lucky at 9 p.m. To only have to go over workout planning and then other business stuff, to try to eat again and fall into bed at maybe 11 if I was lucky, to get up again and do it all the next day. Miserable. As a mum of two, I was failing, literally failing as a mother. Interesting that we're doing this tonight on Mother's Day. Life was miserable, and I really do think that I was failing very, very badly in business, in life, in health, in motherhood, and in all styles of relationship before Isagenix.
It sounds like you were just trying to stay afloat in every aspect. Trying. I was doing the best that I could at the time that I needed to, there was no thriving. It was tough. Like, I'd had my business for 7 years and I loved it. I literally, loved opening that place, my gym, to be a support hub and a community for women to train and to be together and to empower each other through change. And I loved it, to a period of time where it started to really impact on my own health. And then really, if I look at it honestly, the demise of that business was to do, one, for my health, and second, for my attitude. So I didn't know that back then. Seeing that now, as I've been able to personally develop, I can definitely see that the demise of my business and even my mindset and my life at that time truly was just to do with my attitude. Yeah. I love that you've sort of a bit of a self-proclaimed negative Nelly back then, because I know a lot of people, they don't mean to sort of, sometimes life can just sort of get on top of you, and, your personal journeys, you've come so far, and alongside with that, so has everything else, and everything else has started to flourish. So, you do love helping women, and you're very much into fitness. I know when we're hanging out in Arizona, you were up early, you were going to the gym, and I'm getting my pregnant ass out of bed.
Well, I was going to say, you did have a bit of a belly, so I was like, I'll give you that one. It's all good.
Yeah, thanks. So why was it? So you're obviously already entrepreneurially minded. Why was it that you actually started your business in the first place, your gym? What was it that inspired you to even start that?
Such a good question, and one that not many people ask me. You've frozen my end, but hopefully you'll come back onto it, and I'll just keep yakking. So, it actually started in the transition from banking, because my career before fitness was in banking. I was lucky enough to win a service award through the NAB to actually travel around the country with the Commonwealth Games. And really, in that 3-month period that I was away, I developed a real love for people. I developed a love for making them laugh and being in front of them and dancing and being silly, getting to know them and their stories, and being able to inspire them through getting to know them and through some movement as we warmed them up to do their run. So that was kind of this freedom type thing. Then when I got back from the Com Games, and I literally went back into my banking position, and I sat down at my desk, I felt trapped. I was like, holy shit, there is no way that I'm built to sit behind this desk in these 4 walls forever. Like, I just could see going crazy, just in a seated, like, one person, one role. So I was literally just training at a gym one day in my lunch break. And I just had a thought, you know what, one of these would be really great in my hometown, because we don't have anywhere for women to come together to empower and inspire each other. And from that thought to opening the gym, which was a franchise, it was 6 months. So it was just meant to be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was literally 6 months. And I love that you say I'm entrepreneurial. I am, if you want to call it that. I don't really give it a title. What I am is just clever with risk, because I just went, you know what, I'm young enough. If this gym thing happens to fail, I'll just come back to the bank and I'll just do what I do and dish money and stuff real good. So I was just made clever risks. So
Oh, I like that. I've never heard that wording, clever with risk. That's really good, because that's ultimately what every success in life comes out of, right?
absolutely.
Calculated decisions, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how far
I think.
into owning? Yeah, sorry, go, Lise.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that that's one of the reasons that people stop themselves from doing what they truly want to do, is actually because they get locked in the risk of fear and fearing risk. You know. Anyway, we can go on to that later.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can talk about that forever. So at what point, when you started your gym, at what point did you realize that it wasn't what you had hoped it to be?
So when I first started it, my babes, like Jared and Sophie, are 16 and 13 now, but so they were quite little, and they were not so busy in themselves as kids. Like, they were always been sporty. We're a really sporty family, but the kids weren't that busy, so it was quite easy being a working mum because the kids didn't have that many commitments. But as they grew and they started going through primary school and having more outside things to do, it was probably really then. So it actually was probably 5 years into the business, and I already had my studio on the market at that stage. I just realized that this thing that I had bought into, which I had dreamed to be about creating freedom and being able to leverage myself out of, was certainly not that. It was basically a prison. It was sucking me dry in all ways, physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, draining everything out of me, and draining my time with my family, and draining my time with my husband, and actually draining me of life. And I think it just hit me one time when I thought, do you know what? When I was employed, I had more holidays when I was in the bank, and I had more benefits. I certainly got paid where I wasn't paying myself in business. And I had sick leave, and I had super, and and I had 4 weeks holiday, and maybe some more because I had long service leave. But in this business, which I thought I was buying into to create ultimate freedom, no way. Like, I'd literally bought myself some effing golden handcuffs. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the truth.
Oh wow. Yeah, I hear that often. I guess I had my own business before I'd started, but it wasn't at the point where it was, really flourishing. But I hear Josh say the word golden handcuffs, and a lot of other people who are in traditional businesses, they love their craft or what they do, but it can often get caught being busy in the business side of things. And yeah, absolutely, that freedom.
Much time business and not enough time on my life. Reason again. Yeah, go.
Okay, sorry. So I guess, look, so you said you realized that you had far less time freedom, and you'd bought into a franchise, so it was already on the market then. Why had it gone on the market?
Yeah. So I put it on the market because I realized that, at 5 years, it was kind of still a going entity. So it was kind of okay. Like, books were looking okay. It was kind of okay. Memberships were great. Business was okay at about 5 years. But I'd also really developed. Look, I loved fitness. I loved it. I loved being able to physically shift people's body in that modality. But I developed more of a love for food for medicine. I developed more of a love of understanding how the body reacts to good nutrition and good support through my own little illness, like gut illness. And so I started to just develop a passion for that. So the goal, putting it on the market to sell it, was to actually go back to school to study nutritional medicine to become a naturopath. Yeah, so good question. Not many people know that, but that was the goal when I put it on the market, was to go back and study.
Yeah. So how, and at what point, because then you didn't go back and study Isagenix, landing in your lap beautifully. How did that come across you?
Oh, Isagenix. Funny story. Really funny story. So I had gone to the Health and Fitness Expo in Sydney. So I always went to the big expos around health and fitness because we always wanted to know what was new, what was trending, you know, in terms of products and fitness and all that type of stuff. So I went to the expo in Sydney and I literally was walking down an aisle and I saw Jana Pittman. Now, unbeknownst to me, she was doing Isagenix, and I was like, oh, I just wanted to stop and talk to her as an athlete. So and I was just had some small talk, and she started giving me the pitch on Isagenix. She was there with another lady, Jodie, and they started telling me all about it. And then my reaction, because I was very egoic about personal training and fitness, and I was also at that time racing triathlon. I was whole food coach. I was racing with an elite nutritionist and a coach. So everything for me was paleo at that time. So when they start talking to me about this meal replacement shake thing, I just said, yeah, no thanks. There's no way that I would use a shake, nor would I sell it to my client, but good luck. And literally kind of in my mind gave her the bird and then walked away. So I was like, I laugh about it now because I was so rude. But that's the first touch at it. And then the universe just kept delivering these freaking like little clicks, like, you know, just kept throwing stones at me all of the time about it. I was going through a little health crisis again at the time, suffering from extreme exhaustion, really, really poor health. And, you know, I couldn't get myself better. Didn't matter what I knew about food or recovery or exercise and diet. And even with the help of oodles of specialists, I could not get myself better. So these little stones of Isagenix just kept coming. And then one lady, a member at my gym, actually mentioned this thing about a detox. And I was like, detox, trendy word, show me what are you doing? And that was another interest there because I liked this lady and she's clever. I didn't think she would do anything stupid. And then I went to her friend's little in-home, saw a product that we have, which is by far the best thing that I think any mother can have if we're talking about mums, which is called our Ionic Supreme. Now, that product was almost identical to what I was already taking from my naturopath for my exhaustion. So that was really the kind of like the scientific little push, there you go, that I needed. I still very much researched the products though before I strangely and very weirdly said yes to a random Facebook post. So there was lots of touches. It was very weird, but lots of touches.
It kept coming into your sphere. I love, you know what I didn't know? That Jana Pittman was talking to you about it and like pro Olympic athlete, and you're like, yeah, no, sorry, I know better.
Yeah.
And then this woman at your gym who you also respect, and you're like, yeah, nah. So, wow, that was a lot of ego there.
I was very rude. I was very, like, I hope there's some of my friends that have known me for a really long time and some that were even probably my clients tell you I was very, very rude. My nickname as a trainer, none of you guys know this, and I'm laughing about it so hard. My nickname as a PT was Ball Breaker. So, you know, like that's just how I was. I was very, very masculine in my energy when I was in training and instructing. And that's just the way that I thought people needed to be motivated, which I so know is different nowadays. So, you know, you live and learn. But yeah, I was a rude bitch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't even imagine you like that. Like that's just not even it. That's just, you've come right around, because I didn't know that old you, and I can't even imagine that old you. So, all right, so you've gone on this long personal development journey, and I know a big self-love journey as well. Tell me a bit about how that started and how it's developed.
You know, I didn't know that. I just thought Isagenix was pills and shakes, right? And I just thought that I needed Isagenix for the energy, and that was literally all I was looking at it for for energy and really for health. When weight came off, that was a bonus. That was awesome. Like I lost like 9 kg. Thanks heaps for like telling me I was so fat. Like, these are my words, so don't be offended by that, but these are my words. I just didn't expect that to happen. The energy went through the roof. And when I started to radiate different, when I started to feel different from the inside, I knew that I was worth more. Like, I just knew that there was bigger things that I could do in life. There was bigger things that I could do in my life, and there was bigger things that I could do for people in their life. And literally being a sad, miserable, tired woman was not going to be able to make big impact. That I just knew I had to grow. I had to literally grow, because there was no way I was going to stay like just rock bottom. There wasn't. Like, I just remember looking at myself one day and thinking, is this it? Like, is this literally it? Is this all you're going to do? Are you just going to be fat, sick and tired for the rest of your life and a miserable mother? Is this it? Like, it can't be. And I knew then, when I had this feeling from the products, that was the feeling that other people needed too, because I wasn't the only one suffering. 1,000 women were suffering. I fucking certainly saw them every day suffering. I talked to them every day about their suffering, and I knew I wasn't the only one. So I was like, everyone needs this, not from a product point of view, for the feeling and the energy and the support. That was the key. That was the key, right? When I went to my first Isagenix event, I was on my own. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't care. I literally was just curious. And I think that is another thing. If people are taking notes, you want to go back, write down curiosity is the key to success. Because I was curious about what this event was, and I wanted to go. And when I walked into that room on my own, I felt friendship from strangers that I'd never ever known ever. Where somebody, one of your girls actually, she's like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, well, and she's like, where are you from? Greensboro. Oh, I know where that is. Awesome. Come sit with me. And it was like, where have all these happy people been all my life? It was like that, you know. And I'm going to like just dismiss people's fears of this being a cult, because it's not. The word cult comes from culture, and we are some of the happiest, healthiest, most humbly, abundantly wealthy people that I've ever known in all of my life, who will give their shirt for you. And if that's a cult, fucking let me in. Seriously, let me in. Like, the world needs more of us.
Tell it like it is.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I told
and
you I'd
be
really
like, that's
truthful.
A big thing that, good, I love it. That's why I love you, Lise. And that's something that I noticed straight away as well, because I was enrolled by someone who was on the other side of the country, didn't even know her very well at the time. And then all these people in this group were being so kind to me, and I went to an event and everyone was like, hey, and I was like, okay, cool, let's roll with this. And it's amazing, incredible to be around people who, there's no other agenda. They're actually really nice. Everyone really wants the best for each other, because, hey, guess what? We all, you know, when we're all we all become successful by helping each other. Like, that doesn't happen in old normal life.
No,
it's crazy.
Me thriving doesn't make you thrive any less. Like, that's what I love. No. And that's very different from business owning and employee mindset. It's hard to kind of get your head around. Yeah, I can only be good at this, and if I make you good. And I love that. I love it's literally like lifting people up. Who can I help? What can I do? You know, I'm building this full time. You're building it part time, or just, you know, doing your side thing. That's cool. Like, I'm your full time employee until you can do this full time. Like, put me to work. And people are like, what? You crazy? I'm like, no, I work for you. I work for you. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, I know I'm crazy, but just get it. I work for you. Let's go. Like, you know, and that's the cool thing, is that you literally, you just grow people to be better. And you talked about events, right? There was the next one that I went to, and you said you were enrolled by someone on the other side of the country. Well, I was enrolled by Brett and Sammy, who are two of my closest friends, but they were strangers at the time. They lived in Queensland, and there was the most incredible certainty from them when they told me to go to this event in Sydney. I'm like, I was not making money from Isagenix. I was not making money in my gym, so I was like freaking skint. But there was just such certainty in Sammy's voice that I knew that I had to go, and that was a massive game changer. Were you? I don't even know whether you were there. Were you there at Train the Trainer in Sydney? David Wood?
Oh yeah, I had gone to Perth and then I went to the Sydney one as well because it was so good.
Okay, right. So so that was a pretty pivotal change. That was pretty cool because that was really where I saw the bigger structure. Like I'd seen the people in Melbourne and they were pretty cool, but then I went to Sydney, and then I just saw like all of the happiness, and then like everyone's like, wow, like this, it just I wanted to be happy, and I felt like all the birds were flocking together, and I found these happy people. I got to randomly do like a workshop thing with our general manager at the time, and I didn't know he was the general manager, and he just let me be the biggest dork ever. And then when I found out it was him, I nearly pooed my pants. But like I just knew then I was really at home because I had found something and somewhere and some place that was truly going to allow me to be me, and it was truly going to allow me to be authentic.
Yeah. I love that. And the one little thing you said, you paired up with the general manager, and that says a lot about our culture as well. Like, it's not like, they sit in this ivory tower, like they're in with us. And, even at Adelaide on the weekend, our new general manager was there helping. He was, and I noticed everyone had left, and he was there helping pull down the event. And
yeah,
it really does flow from the top down, and we do have a beautiful culture and that. So, all right. So you've come a long way personally, and you very much practice self-love now. What's a normal day look like for you in terms of looking after Lisa?
Oh, so I still get up really early, but I get up early by choice. I don't get up early because I have to. I get up early by choice. So I am very firm about filling my cup before I have to fill the cup of other people. So I get up. I used to be, right into F45, but I love it, and I love the structure of that and the people and the teamwork. It's quite like Isagenix, but it did start to get a little draining, and I needed to, because I've been very fatigued before, as soon as I feel it, I need to come back and feel myself. So I get up in the morning, I go for a walk for about an hour, which is just a mosey. So walking for restoration purposes, sun gazing, because it's so energetically powerful. I listen to an incredible motivating podcast. Right now I'm writing to Melissa Ambrosini. And then I come home, and it's literally like get my kids up, if they're not up already, sometimes they're not, get them ready for school, and do some stuff with them, drive them to school, and try to get some conversations going with them, because sometimes it doesn't work. And then I come home, and literally I have my brekkie, which is like superpower. And then I get going. Like, sometimes I'm booked with appointments and calls and chats and stuff like that. But otherwise, I come home and I really get to work. I love building this business through the power of social media. Social media for us as network marketers is a tool. But the goodness and the love and the heart of it comes from personal connection. But social media is a free tool for us. So we can literally contact billions of people from our phone. And that's what I love. I love talking. Did you guess it? That's what I love doing.
No. That's awesome, Lise. And I love that you have that ritual every single morning as well, getting up, walking, filling your ears with the good stuff straight off the bat, set your intentions for the day, and set that vibe that the rest of the day is going to, be on a positive note, rather than, wake up and focus on, the stresses and all that sort of stuff. So I love that. So, all right. We've gone a little bit longer, so I'm going to leave the last one out. But important question, if you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, there's a table of 4 of you, and you can invite any 3 guests, who would they be?
Okie dokie. All right. So, sorry, I did forget to say also the first thing that I do when I wake up, as soon as my feet hit the ground, I say thank you 3 times. So it's very, very important to be grateful for everything that we have in life, but also that everything's flowing our way. And I learned that from Wayne Dyer. So I'd actually have to say I'd have him. Of course, I would have my mum back. I'm not going to cry, but it is Mother's Day, and it's been 230 days without her. But I would have my mum back to have her at the dinner table to express incredible love and gratitude and just say the things that I didn't say to her when I should have. And then, I'd have my family. I would literally have all of my family. That's way more than 4 people, but I would have all of my family, my dad, my sisters, my nieces and nephews, and then Shane's side as well. I'd actually have all of my family and my mum, of course, and then Wayne Dyer, because he's pretty fucking cool. And his expression of love and universal divinity and just us being here in the right moment in the right time is something that I think everybody needs to learn, is that your job here was planted for you long before you came, and you need to stop thinking about what it is and you need to feel it, because if you don't feel that you're in the right space at the right time doing the right thing that's soul filling, then you're actually not, because thoughts don't mean anything, feelings do. So anyway, that was a bit weird, but anyway, there you go. So sorry.
You extended the dinner table. You're the first person who's ever extended the dinner table, and that's totally okay.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
good, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
People. Yeah.
You know what? Okay. Let's just fill a whole dining room. Lisa gets a dining room.
Why not? And I think that it's if I can end on a note for mums, because I know that it's Mother's Day, and if I can because that I love empowering women, and I've always really worked with mums, and probably because I am one myself, and I think that there's a real problem in this world that mums don't value themselves enough for them being a woman before a mum. And so that we forget ourselves in acts of service for other people, where first basically what we should be doing is always acting in service for ourselves. Because if our cups are full, we can be full for everybody else. And there's a real big problem inside of this country and inside of the world that women are so empty that they're just empty, and we don't have to be, because we're driving our bus. And we are able to fill our cup if we decide to. So.
I love that you ended on that. We hear that all the time, and I often hear mums, they put themselves last, but they have to put themselves first to be able to give the best of themselves.
That's old. It's old patriarchy. Like we're in a very different age now, very, very different age. And we don't have to be the wives, the mothers, and the women of 100 and 200 years ago. We definitely don't, and we actually shouldn't, because I did that beautiful post on my Facebook today. And if there's people on here that aren't my friends, you should go and stalk my Facebook and have a look at that post that I wrote about why, as women, as mothers, we should be empowering to our daughters, not only our daughters but our sons as well. Because we will always be their greatest role models over all things that they will see. They will always learn greatest from us. And so you filling your cup and you putting yourself first is not selfish. It's just the way that it should be, because you're being an incredible love-filled teacher for yourself and for them. I just everything I do, really, I think about what am I projecting to my daughter, who is growing up now in an age that we have never ever known. And you will never see my stuff on Facebook or any social media be filtered, because I'm real. This is reality. This is life. You'll never see me nipped, tucked, or filtered, because I want people to see the real me, so that if they see me in the supermarket, they're like, oh, fuck, you look different from your socials. No, this is really me. Because what 13, 14, 15-year-old girls and younger are growing up with now is just fake. I only had the dolly and, a little bit of girlfriend. Now these kids are bombarded with thousands of false messages every day that's really impacting their self-worth, their self-esteem, their self-respect, their enoughness. And we can take a stand.
Yeah, and so good that we can be aware and do what we can.
Yeah. It went
so
forever.
Good, Lise.
We could talking. I know you need to go to bed, and thanks to everyone for watching. Hi, Kath.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone and for jumping on, and thank you so much for your time, Lisa. I know it's getting late, so I really appreciate you sharing my couch with me tonight. And
no worries.
Thanks everyone
for
jumping on.
That's right. See ya.
See you guys.